Quad Cities without hockey? That's like Hill Valley without the clock tower, or Oakland without the Raiders, Cleveland without the Browns. Marty, could you imagine what could happen if there was no hockey in the Quad Cities? This one item could affect the entire time continuum destiny of sports in the Quad Cities. Great Scott. That's it. I'll take Scott, use the time machine, go back to 1990s, and get a Mallards puck from the championship era. If my calculations are correct, and if we use the flux capacitor, it will reverse the time continuum, and it just might work. We must go quack for the future!
Welcome everybody, and thank you for coming. It's a great day in the Quad Cities. A lot of us feared that we would have to sit out a winter without hockey, and luckily, thanks to our friends here to my left, we don't. I'd like to thank Beacon Sports Properties, Howard Cornfield and his group, and all those folks for helping me out and trying to keep hockey here. We've got a really great group of people. They have a very deep background in sports marketing at a high professional level, and I think they're going to do great things for us. Right now, I'd like to start off by introducing the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the IHL, Michael Franke.
Well, the Quad City Mallards are back. What do you think of that? The International Hockey League is proud to be involved with these four wonderful cities that make up the Quad Cities. The tradition of hockey in this marketplace is unparalleled. Dating back several years ago when the Mallards franchise began, there was not a better franchise in minor league hockey than the Quad City Mallards. And the fans supported this team to tremendous degrees. And they were the model franchise in minor league hockey. Well, I am pleased to say today to you that thanks to these gentlemen right here, the model franchise in minor league hockey is back. And we cannot be more excited as a league, the International Hockey League, to welcome Quad City to our league. They represent our 7th team for the upcoming season. There will be further expansion in the future years. What we really want to accomplish with this concept in the IHL is bringing the fans back to the players and an affinity between the fans and the players, and that's what this league will provide for the wonderful fans of Quad City. We are all about physicality in the game. We think that physical play is part of hockey. We have changed rules over the last 2 years to create a little more physicality in the game. we're not talking about goonery. We're talking about good body hits. We're talking about an occasional tussle between two willing combatants. We're talking about exciting hockey, and we cannot thank you enough for being here today, the tremendous support that you are showing this organization in its early stages. And without further ado, I would like to introduce first a man who spent 14 years as president of the National Hockey League Enterprises. He also was the president of the Pittsburgh Penguins, commissioner and CEO of the Major Indoor Soccer League for 8 years. Put your hands together for a wonderful advisor to this group, Mr. Steve Ryan.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that great introduction. First of all, I'd like to start by congratulating you, the fans. And I know very well over the history of hockey and all the years that I had the privilege to be both at the NHL and with, I'm thrilled to say, the Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins, that this city and this area is a real hotbed. And you've demonstrated that over the years with your support. And I know some of the history, and I know some of the ups and downs. And I come today as an advisor to Chris Lincheski and his ownership group. I spent a lot of time with Chris, and we've looked at different markets all across the United States from coast to coast. And we spent a lot of time drilling down and making sure that when we made a decision about where we were going to go and where we're going to move in terms of hockey, that it would be a market in which we could build an alliance with the fans. And just by your presence here today, by your enthusiasm on very short notice, by the coverage the media has given this entry, demonstrates that this is the place for us to be. So it is with great pride, I tell you, that having spent so much time in the game of hockey and having seen some of the great players at the NHL level and at the minor league level, you're going to see a very competitive, a very winning team here. I know the history of what's gone on in the past, and we're not going to look in the rearview mirror. We're going to look forward. And I'll tell you why we're going to look forward, because I know Chris Lincheski and his partners are successful people. At a very young age, wherever he's been uniquely successful. You talk to people at NASCAR, you talk to people in the motorsports business, you talk to people domestically in the United States and over in Europe, and they'll tell you that he's a winner. Wherever he's been, he has been successful. And he's got a great family behind him. He's got 3 young daughters and a very smart wife who is a lawyer. I alert everybody to that fact. And she's not only smart, but she's very, very, very bright. And she has contributed a lot to the efforts in the Lincheski family. And I can tell you about the values they have. They're the same values that you have and that I have in terms of family. They're the same values in terms of pride. And you'll see a degree of professionalism here that'll knock your socks off in the next several weeks and several months. He and we are committed not only to winning on the ice, but committed to winning in the community. And we know that that starts by getting out at the grassroots level and really engaging the fans. Not just here in this great arena that I know you're so proud of, but getting out into the rinks and getting out to work with junior hockey and the amateur levels. And we will do that. There'll be a lot of news coming out, and all of this came together very quickly and under the leadership of Scott Mullen. And I must tell you that I've worked in the business a long time, and I've worked with a lot of different arena management companies and individuals. And you've got a star here, you really do. You ought to kidnap him and make sure he stays here for a long, long time. He is a quality young man, and we've made a partnership with him. And some of the things that you'll hear today, and many of the things you'll be hearing over the next few weeks, will demonstrate that we're going to be in partnership with Scott and the arena, and together